Right, let's have a word with the main man himself, Jonathan Davis. He's been out on the streets today. What have you been doing on the streets, Jonathan?
Well, this morning from about 7 o'clock till about 9:15,
yeah.
I was guarding my Better Off Out banner, which I'd pinned to the railings on the high street, trying to catch the commuter traffic.
Yeah.
Because the last two banners I put out, some ripped it off within 90 minutes.
Right.
So I literally had to sit there for a couple of hours. So I did that this morning.
Did people toot when they went past or anything like that? Were you getting any support?
Just a couple of actual tooters. There's been a couple of walkers passing by I looked at it who gave me some negative looks, but you know, that's by the by. And then after that, I've been handing out some leaflets at the local railway station, and then later on today, I'll be actually door knocking, finding out people who were supportive of us, checking that they've actually got off their backsides to vote, because every single vote counts.
Okay, now you're an economist, you're a wealth manager. I mean, for people who haven't listened to Booms and Busts, your superb podcast, explain why you think we'd be better off out of the EU.
Well, I've said often enough that I could talk till the cows come home as to why economically we will, in the medium to long term, be better off by being an independent state again. The short term, well, you know, I'm not saying that we'll be worse off. I've absolutely no idea, and anyone who says they have is either a charlatan or is lying. We cannot possibly know what happens in the short term. It's just there are too many variables. But I put out a posting yesterday to everyone on my email list, and that's thousands of folk, that to me the most important issues are sovereignty and democracy. If you have control over your own affairs and the people have a say in what's going on, then of course we can in effect regulate the people who lead us. But because we can't vote, we don't vote the leaders of the EU in, we can't vote them out, therefore we can't regulate them. Therefore, oh my God, they can do what the hell they like, and they do. And I'll tell you what, although they may be largely benign, although very pro the multinational to the detriment of the small, medium-sized business, although they're largely benign, I'm not saying that they're particularly bad people. What if in the future there is someone who is a particularly bad person, an actual fascist? Well, you know what? If we're in the EU, we can do nothing about that. They're the people who rule us.
What do you think's going to happen to George Osborne on Friday morning? Either way, whether Brexit wins or Remainers win. Is he toast? You're somebody who works in the financial sector.
Yeah.
I'm right in saying he's been talking us down, hasn't he, as a nation?
Well, he has. If we vote to leave, he said all hell will break loose, and we'll have global economic annihilation. Which is the joke is, which is it first? Is it World War III or is it global economic annihilation? Neither of them are, of course, going to happen. No, I mean it's pretty clear that more Conservative MPs are on the Leave side than the Remain side. So it's pretty clear that the infamous 1922 committee, which is basically the group of backbencher MPs, they're going to challenge David Cameron, and I wouldn't be surprised, whatever happens, within 6 months he will be out, and therefore all his cronies will be out. But, time will tell.
Okay, and where do you stand in terms of, the bookies are saying that now, I've got some people who've got 7 to 1, 8 to 1, even 10 to 1. The bookies seem to think that Leave are going to lose.
Well, there hasn't been a single odds in the last few weeks that showed Leave as the favourite until the terrible event, should I say, in Yorkshire last week, there's no question that the odds were closing rapidly until it was practically 50-50, although still slightly with Remain as favourite. Then that thing happened. The media made it. It was directly to do with Brexit. Of course, it had nothing to do with Brexit as far as I can see. And the odds lengthened for Leave. They've come closer again because of the Cameron dreadful, the way he acted dreadfully on the debates. Michael Gove has been fantastic. Johnson's been good. Ledsam's been great. What's her name? The German lady, chairman of Leave.
Gisela.
Yeah, they've been absolutely fantastic, and the people have warmed to them and got what they're saying. So the odds have tightened again. It is, of course, still Remain is favourite. However, what people don't really realise is that the bookies, of course, don't set their odds based upon the number of bets. They base their odds on the value of bets.
Yeah.
And the simple fact is there have been much fewer bets for Remain, but they've been higher value.
Well, that's interesting. Let me just read this email to you. It links in with it. You tell me whether the guy's got it right. Pete in East Yorkshire says, "Hi, Gaunty. Graham Hill." It's not Graham Hill. It's what's his name? Graham, somebody from William Hill. He said in your interview that 70% of the bets, albeit small bets, were for Leave. So let's not assume that Remain are going to win. Do the maths. It's a no-brainer, which is what you're saying, isn't it?
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's not a no-brainer. What it is that we can't, in fact, trust the odds by the bookies as to the outcome of what's going to happen today. So it's still up in the air. Every single vote counts. And the fact that it was raining heavily in London, I know it shouldn't be to do with the weather, but it is a fact. It's been raining heavily in London, and that in itself is going to reduce the number of Remain votes in London, which we know is heavily pro-Remain, just as it is, it's elected Sadiq Khan to be the mayor in London. So, it's still all to play for. We've got several hours to go. Every vote counts.
I agree. Good talking to you. Jonathan Davis, economist, wealth manager, and of course he is the presenter of Booms and Busts, our financial podcast. And